Honey and Vinegar, Poetic Awakening. This chapter will be shared in two parts. Before we begin today's reading, I invite you to listen through the entire video. And if you are also on your grief journey, then I will share a prompt with you so that you can have some kind of poetic or even creative expression that'll exist as a companion for you on your grief journey. Let's begin. Poetic Awakening. Arise, awake, O my soul, listen to, partake of the words of gold. Get up, begin, restart, uproot the weeds, plant gladiolas in their stead, smell the beauty of a new day, hear the song of your heart, rise and shine, time to dance in the sun. Journal entry, September 27th, 2004. The other night I had a dream that I had been made a vampire. I resisted at first, but then I felt this power flowing through me. I was told that the only catch was that every 5 years I would have to feed, ingest the blood of a human in order to continue. Also in the dream, two of my female students had been captured and were about to be feasted upon, but of course, I shielded their bodies with mine. But later in the dream, I saw them perfectly fine, laughing and talking with a group of people. I presented this dream to Susan, my therapist, and although she made a few interesting points, for the most part, we got sidetracked. However, now I have some idea what this dream may mean. I drove up a mountain. This could mean that I was going into my higher self. The people there were vampires. This is my perception of society at large, individuals who are out for self. Then they drank my blood, but also gave me power. It was a fair exchange, and what I would also do eventually. I think, too, that blood is reference to sacrifice. I had to give up something, and in exchange, I received power. There was a blue surge of energy that went through me. I think this blue represents me fully at peace and knowledgeable about myself. When I want to feel relaxed, comfortable with myself, I wear blue. The two students represent my conflict. If I go after who or what I really am, who will protect the children? But later, I see them happy, in a sense, without my help. Maybe that's an indication that they too will somehow get what they need. The one thing that I was most afraid of in the dream was to lose control. I oftentimes struggle with this, thinking that if I become fully who I am made to be, then I will become disconnected and not have the same effect. But Susan affirmed something that I had previously thought. If I leave the classroom, I may teach on another level. Also, near the end of the dream, I entrusted my care to this nurturing spirit that kept me under control. The color of this energy was yellow. I'm not sure what that means, but this person was larger than a normal sized person and had been a vampire for quite a bit of time. In the dream, it presented itself as my mother, but I know my earthly mom has not been that nurturing to me in a very long while. Until further revelation, I'll just go along with Susan's idea that this person may represent the God in people or a person around me who will help to nurture me while not letting me lose control. As an afterthought, I realized that I've been working closely with kids in the education field since 2000, 2001. So this school year is my fifth year. This is the year I become who I'm supposed to be. Great, but I've got a problem. Who or what am I? Poem number 6. You are too poetic for words, so I'll just hum and sing a song in my soul that I only know the words to. Journal entry, October 3rd, 2004. My need to write has me restless. I'm literally walking around in circles, as if my newest poem was just a misplaced thought, and if I just keep walking around this cramped, cluttered apartment, I'll remember where I left it. My man is ready for me to come to bed, and I'm ready to meet him there. But this urge, this need is so strong. I must ignore him to scratch this even greater itch that I have. I'm waiting for the next great revelation or satire or ode to flow and spill over onto a page through my mind and my pen, but it is far away. Honestly, right now, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just writing. I feel like I can't stop. And as I think back on what I've written so far, it's inconsequential, of little importance, not very intellectual, but I'm writing. And I guess that's what's important, that finally something is coming out. So I won't fight it. Whatsoever will. That's how I'm feeling right now. So I'll just trust the process. But for now, duty, a wifely duty that is, calls. Poem number 7. Your arms around me, thick, round, pulled tight like a belt, holding up my soul. Poem number 8. If you love me, live and grow and be and breathe and teach me the song my own heart sings because I've forgotten the words. Play it on the rhythm of your wishes spoken softly to me as you kiss the nape of my neck, as you stroke my back, as you pull me close and fold me into you. Rub away the pain from my weary feet, for my journey has been long and tiresome. Knead them like dough, massaging away the knots from my wounded soul, and breathe, breathe, so I can dance on the wind of your words. For without you, my steps are stationary, my legs take root, and I am firmly planted in the fears that tomorrow will make manifest. While the fruit of unhappiness falls from my limbs, giving life to no one. But if you will, I'd rather stretch my soul along miles and plant seeds of hope into the starving mouths of barren wombs left vacant by empty promises, because I know all too well the loneliness that brings. So restore in me the faith that love brings, because I want to live again. My tomorrow depends on the wind from your words, the heave of your chest, and if I am to look into the future and hope for the best, I need you to breathe. Poem number 9. You make me want to grow old, stay long, see what the end gonna be. I can see us sitting on a porch in our country home, shaded from the sun, fanning away flies and heat, laughing about forgotten memories, or just sitting there being quiet, saying nothing at all. You make me want to live out the rest of my days so I can measure time by the moments we shared. Presidents come and gone, dreams accomplished and unfulfilled, Anthony from a boy to a man, knowing all these came from the Master's plan aligned with the work of our hands and the sweat from our unified brow. Now or then I could tell the story of your scars, and you'll weep at my father's memory, and will bend and wrinkle under the weight of our years. But the pain and the tears endured will build muscles in our souls, so that even when death would us do part, we would carry the strength in our hearts to live on. Journal entry, date not noted. I don't know. I feel like I'm losing my grip on reality. Like God is playing a cruel trick on me, or his goodness towards me has become pure evil. I think that I wish to die. I wish to lay my head upon my pillow and never wake up on this side again. But I think that I'm afraid of the nothingness. And yet the nothingness that I feel now consumes me. I only know that I'm alive right now because I eat and I consume things and I shit and I'm spoken to by others who still engage in this life like I had once. My happiness seems to be to me a distant memory, and my father seems so far gone from me as if he never existed. It is as if my life with him had been nothing but a dream, and I awake to the nothingness that is my reality. I wish to hide myself within the walls as my father is hidden within the walls of his casket, and I was once hidden within my mother's womb. I wish to be born again, but into a world where little girls who are made to grow up too fast aren't expected to exhaust their strength on just surviving. I remember telling my dad that I made it this far by myself. Now I realize how wrong I was. I realize now that every blow that life dealt me was buffeted by his presence, his love, his need, his desire for me to be happy and whole. My whole life's direction was to meet and exceed the expectations of my father. Poem number 10, Goodbye, is the purest and deepest blues song that I've ever heard. Hopeful and yet hopeless. Too much said and then again not enough. I said, see you again. I love you. Goodbye. Little did I know that these words would send you on a journey that I have yet to follow. I've learned many lessons already on this new leg of my life's journey without my father's physical presence. I've learned to trust my intuition more. I've learned to be still and listen. I've learned to allow love to flow however it wills. Sometimes I can feel my father standing behind me, laughing almost, when I'm in the kitchen baking cookies for my students. It would be hilarious to him to see me so domesticated. Sometimes, unaware, Dante holds his hands or says something exactly the way my father would have. Even Mr. Harris, the science teacher at Edison, will surprisingly take on the role as my father, giving me advice about my finances as well as my relationship. And even though none of it could ever replace him, the one who loved me so, I still accept all of these things as gifts. Because of these things, I know that my daddy is still with me, is still watching after me, is still loving me. For love has no bounds, does not know any restrictions, even that of time and space. When Anthony and then Dante came into my life, it was hard for me to manage both my joy and my grief. The two of them were and are so sweet in allowing me my time to grieve. Anthony will just come and stand by, and if nothing else, he'll go and get some tissue so I can cry without making a mess. Dante will come and hold me and rub my back until the tears subside. These two are the trappings that keep me on this side. For a while, I struggled, figuring that I had to choose. Was I going to be happy with my family or continue to grieve my father? How could one choose? They were both motivated by love and assumed obligation. I believe that my father wants me to continue in this life, and for that reason, I believe that Anthony and Dante were sent to me. However, when I was enjoying them, I felt I was betraying my father and vice versa. Sometimes I would catch myself laughing, but then separate myself from it and wonder how long I could keep up the charade. But then I also battled with the joy that filled my heart whenever Dante entered the room. I felt insanity creeping in. How can I feel joy and sadness at the same time? Every summer, I attend Simba Camp. It is an African American rites of passage program for young boys. Every summer, I struggle with my role and significance there. But despite that, I continue to return, hoping to give and or receive. As usual, I was not confident with my contribution to the program as a workshop leader and assistant to the program director during the summer of 2004. But what I received, I draw from every day to keep this life and my love in perspective. One of the ceremonies that the boys experienced was the tasting ceremony. While the boys' eyes were closed, their nation builders put a spoon of vinegar in their mouths. The head nation builder explained that the vinegar represented the bitterness of life. He said that sometimes really devastating things happen to us on our journey. Some things are so bad that we think that we just can't go on. We want to give up. Then the nation builders put a spoonful of honey in the boys' mouths. The head nation builder explained that the honey represented the sweetness of life, despite the vinegar that is still present on the back of our tongues. If we look and accept it, we must acknowledge that this journey also has moments of joy, of sweetness. Therefore, because both exist, it is unfair to focus only on the bitterness or to think that you should only experience the sweetness. He explained that the true test of life is how we balance both the honey and the vinegar. I would dare say that my father's love for me was pure and unconditional. His love for me was above and beyond any other that I experienced on this earth. When my world was crashing down, as it oftentimes did, I knew that I could find refuge within my father. I was confident that there was no problem too large that we could not solve together. Many people look at the abuse that occurred in my childhood and wonder how am I able to stand and continue forward. Besides the tools that the Most High provided me with, when they were not readily accessible, He gave me a loving, supportive father as my plan B. He's not here now to help me get through the biggest challenge I've ever faced, losing him. But I still hold in me the sweet memories from times we were blessed to have together. When your life seems filled with bitterness, know and have faith that joy will come. When you receive joy into your lives, hold on to those memories and keep some of them tucked away for when the rain comes. Life is both honey and vinegar, and we must learn to gracefully receive and skillfully balance the two. Thank you for joining me in this reading today. If you are on your grief journey, I invite you to take stock of the honey and the vinegar in your life. Yes, your grief. It's bitter, it's strong, it seems unbearable at times. But I wonder if you can identify even those small moments where you smile, something that makes you smile, or when you feel the love um, from others around you, or even fun memories um, of your loved one who's transitioned and passed on. Um, Taking inventory of the joys of life. Make a list. Feel free to share some of those things with me in the comment section on the video. But understanding that life is both honey and vinegar. And that's the hard part, to learn to balance the two or to accept the two. But I invite you, as you finish this reading, to make a list. Maybe spend the day just observing the goodness that still exists in your life. Again, thank you for joining me today. And I'll be sharing part 2 of Poetic Awakening with you soon.